Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. You may have noticed some disjuncture between what I read at the time of the Gospel and what was printed in your service leaflet. What was printed in your service leaflet is from the New Revised Standard Version of the Scripture. It is an accurate and wonderful Greek translation. What you heard me read was from Eugene Peterson's The Message, a paraphrase of the New Testament. And sometimes paraphrases, while not entirely accurate, help us to see things in a new way. I think Eugene Peterson's translation or paraphrase helps us to do that today. In the early part of the 20th century, there was an Anglican priest who taught at Oxford and also often preached and presided at the church in Oxford. His name was Archibald Spooner. And Archibald Spooner had some odd ways of speaking. He tended to reverse things. In fact, he was so famous for his reversals that they are now called in grammar books Spoonerisms. So one day Archibald was preaching, and he got up in the pulpit and offered his sermon, and afterwards he got down, went back, took a seat, got up, went back to the sermon, to the pulpit, and said, "In my sermon, the one I just preached, wherever I said Aristotle, I meant St. Paul." After which he announced the famous English hymn, "Conquering Kings Their Titles Take," and he announced "Tinkering Tongues Their Titles Take." At a wedding, he said to the groom, "My son, it is now at this point customary to cuss the bride." A visiting priest was sitting as Karen was, and he said, "Father, you are occupied my pie." On Christmas Day, he proclaimed with great fervor in the pulpit, "Our Lord is a shoving leopard." So what we have today are theological Spoonerisms from Jesus. He is transposing the theological understandings of the people to whom he was talking. Because in first century Palestine, if you were wealthy, you were considered to be blessed of God. And if you were poor, or sick, or had been born with a deformity, you were considered to be under God's curse. And Jesus is transposing things for people, for his hearers, in new ways. He's giving them a new perspective. Luke's gospel shows us Jesus doing something very different. He is meeting people where they are. And so, in Luke's gospel alone, does Jesus meet Zacchaeus, and he insists on going to Zacchaeus' house. And when he comes to Zacchaeus' house, he says, "Health and salvation have arrived to this house this day." It is only in Luke's gospel that Jesus turns to the thief next to him who is dying on his own cross and says to him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Only in Jesus' gospel, only in Luke's gospel, does Jesus meet the thief where he is, on the cross. It is only in Jesus' gospel that we meet Lazarus, the poor man, who is given a name and is sitting outside of the home of the rich man going to condemnation, Lazarus, who is going to paradise. Only in Luke's gospel. The 1992 Westminster Bible commentary says, St. Luke's gospel is extremely dangerous. It may be the most dangerous text in the entire Bible. Because in Luke's Gospel, Jesus stands with the people. We see this quite dramatically today. We're all familiar with the Sermon on the Mount, aren't we? Where Jesus goes up on the mount and pronounces the Beatitudes. But in the parallel section in Luke's Gospel, which we read today, Jesus doesn't go up the mount. He goes down onto the plain and stands in the midst of the people. And whereas in Matthew's Gospel, Luke proclaims 9 blessings. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit. In Luke's Gospel, he is much more blunt. Blessed are the poor. And in Luke's Gospel, there aren't 9 blessings, there are 4 blessings and 4 woes. Watch out. Watch out. There's a warning against complacency in the Gospel of Luke that we don't find in the Gospel of Matthew. Luke pronounces blessing on 4 categories of people: the poor, the hungry, those who are sorrowful, and those who are excluded. And then his woes are also to the counterparts of those particular individuals that he selects for blessing. We understand this if we read the social anthropologist and theologian Bruce Molina. Bruce Molina tells us that in first century Palestine, people saw things differently than we do. So they saw things often in terms of honor and shame. So here's your third translation of this section from Luke's Gospel, according to Bruce Molina. Bruce Molina says, "Honored are you who are poor, or you who are hungry, or you who weep. Honored are you when people hate you and exclude you. Shamed are you who are rich and full and laughing, and shamed are you when all speak well of you. To be rich and unconcerned with others, now that is a shameful thing. Whereas to be poor and to dwell with God is honorable." The Gospel of Luke is an extremely dangerous text. I remember when I was a callow youth of 19, just a couple of years ago. And for a couple of summers I did tuberculosis inoculation with the Epistle Church in Haiti. And because I was the young buck on the team, they would send me from Maui, where I lived in a tent, 90 miles above Port-au-Prince, and send me down to Port-au-Prince to the hospital that we worked with there to pick up supplies. So I often went to Port-au-Prince, and in order to get to the hospital, we had to walk through the Cardo slum, where this boy from an affluent suburb saw for the first time people washing up in wastewater and washing their dishes in wastewater. And I was once called into one of the shanties with tin and cardboard because they recognized this white guy walking off and through their slum. I was offered some coffee, and I was there after sick for many days. And it was a shock to me. I had never before seen such impoverished people. And as a theologically interested young man, I found myself wondering, in what way could such people possibly be called blessed in the New Testament? And so I have, since that time, created for myself a parachute, or maybe just a way to cross my fingers. Because I think that what Jesus is saying here, he's not saying that God has a particular love of poverty, that poverty is somehow an inherently good condition. I don't think Jesus is saying God has it out for the rich. I think he's just describing a condition. That sometimes poor people are in such distress that they know that their only hope is to trust in God. And sometimes those of us with a bit of buffer do not know our need. We don't know the depths of our distress. And so we leave no aperture for God's work in our lives because we've got a buffer. I think maybe here we are describing a condition. Woe to those whose comfort blinds them to their deep and profound need for God. Now, I'm sure, as for me, your bedtime reading most nights includes the philosopher's Soren Kierkegaard, The Sickness Unto Death. It's actually a thin book that I will read. It will send you to sleep most nights. Kierkegaard says the only sin, the only real sin, is the sin of despair, because God is the God of hope. And the sin unto death, the sickness unto death is the title of this book, is to despair, is to not know that you are in need of God, to not know that you are a person with a measure of despair, and that you need to open up your life to the Holy One. And I think that's what I hope, fingers crossed, parachute open, Jesus is saying in this gospel when he pronounces woe on people like me who have so very much. So we are today, I think, in the need of transpositions, some theological spoonerisms. We here at St. Paul's who have so much, Jesus has come to our house and pronounces hope and salvation, even for us who live among people within a 50-mile radius who have so much less than we do. We can be saved from failing to understand how desperately we in our lives need God. We can be saved from failing to join people on the plane and to be among them in solidarity, perhaps even helpfully, as we understand their need. During World War II, there was an aptly named king in Denmark. His name was King Christian. And the interesting thing about King Christian is that when his land was invaded by the Nazis and occupied, as most of the nations of Europe were, he received the same orders from the Nazis that all the others did, and that was that the Jews in those places were to place on their chest a large yellow star to indicate their excluded status. What King Christian did when he received that edict was to make for himself a yellow star and have it sewn onto his suit. And he then insisted that all of his subjects do the same thing. He said, all Danes are the same. And among all the nations of Europe, the only Jews that were not deported to the death camps were the Jews of Denmark. We are invited in this gospel today to make for ourselves yellow stars and to join people on the plane, whatever their circumstances, whatever our circumstances, to join them in solidarity. The Gospel of St. Luke is an extremely dangerous text. It may be the most dangerous text in the entire Bible. It is a theological spoonerism. It turns everything we tend to believe upside down. And however many versions it takes for us to really hear this dangerous gospel, we would be well to listen.